Okay, Cynthia, thank you very much for joining me. As your profile says that you are the award-winning trainer, leader, speaker, and ambassador, and you are also the international best-selling author of 2 books, and also the honorary doctor of love. So you help people to succeed with self-love. This is your center of your life story. So we Muslims especially focus and just follow the love of Rumi. This is the Rumi love is very famous in our region. So your love and the love of Rumi, how you can correlate and how can this impact on humanity?
I would absolutely say, first of all, thank you so much for having me on this platform. It's an honor. I would say that in regards to Rumi really speaks of being love and finding the barriers within yourself that prevent you from loving. In that capacity, as we start to love ourselves, we start to see both the dark aspects of ourselves and the light aspects of ourselves. And we start learning not to judge them, recognizing that we are under construction, that we are divinely, fearfully, and wonderfully made. And as we come to accept ourselves in that totality, that allows us to transmute, move beyond a lot of the self-imposed limitations that we've made on ourselves. So Rumi really speaks to this concept of being able to be the love you want to see in the world, to be the change you want to see in the world, to really remove these barriers and transmute. And in every relationship we have, it's like an infirmary for the soul. What I mean by that is when we are triggered by another person, they are a reflection of us. So all that we repress inside of ourselves is actually something that they will bring out. And whenever you find that you are being triggered, that is a sign of an area that you have to grow. And this is something that Rumi speaks to. That is a barrier to love. And so as you start recognizing that this is not a problem with the person, it's a problem with you. And it's not even a problem, it's an area for awareness. Oh, okay, I think I now know an area that I need to work on so that I can transmute and move beyond this barrier. And as we start to accept ourselves unconditionally, then we are able to fully love ourselves and allow love in. Because what happens is that every time we encounter that resistance, it is merely a teacher. It is merely teaching us an area that we need to work on. And then you can derive the lesson and receive the blessing.
So, Cynthia, how can we diagnose that these are the areas? Okay, this is if you feel the resistance inside you when something happened outside from you is okay. But if we want to highlight these are the areas, these are the some tools which we can, in general, we can adopt and we can check that these are the deficiencies we have to improve. How to check, how to diagnose in ourselves? This is not easy. Who am I? It's not easy. I think so.
Not easy at all. I would say the root of all man's suffering lies in not being able to be a room with oneself. And so as you're with yourself, you're going to find that you either enjoy your own company and you can spend countless hours, or you're either in aversion or addiction. You're running from something or you're running to something. And those are the areas that you need to focus on. These are the areas of pain. Like so often we live in this society that's pleasure seeking. We're always looking to derive pleasure, 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 pleasure. But life doesn't work that way. The only way we can know compassion is through suffering. The only way we can know glory is by transforming our story. And it's all about tapping into those areas where we are in pain, the areas we don't want to look at. So anytime you're like, oh, I can't look at this, I can't watch this, I can't. There's something that Ram Dass calls unbearable compassion. And it's about recognizing that there are going to be moments in time, for example, where you walk down the street and you see a beggar and you don't want to see the beggar because it makes you feel sad. So you turn your head to avert your gaze. But in reality, when you are totally at peace with yourself, you can look at that person and see your brother and see your mother and see your sister and have compassion for that being. That's what it's all about. It's about recognizing the duality, that we are going to have areas that are going to be painful for ourselves. But just like breaking your arm, you give it time to heal. So too are our psychological wounds. We need to allow the time to heal and not try to self-medicate, but rather to sit with the pain and meditate on it. Pain, what are you trying to tell me today? Why am I feeling this way? There was a man that I knew that had a frozen shoulder. And Louise Hay speaks of the heal yourself movement, where she talks about how a frozen shoulder, often when we have pain in our shoulder, it is related to our psychological wound of shouldering the burden. A lot of our physical pain is attached to our psychological pain. So even if you're not able to tap into your psychological pain, because maybe you've repressed it so long, it's so painful, you don't want to look at it. Look at your physical symptoms and see what they're trying to tell you and meditate on it. What are you trying to tell me? Every disease is caused by dis-ease in the body. It's about recognizing that there are certain areas of our life, toxic thoughts, that will create deposits in our body that are not meant for us. We are divine love and compassion. That is our essence. That is our core. And when you hold on to hate, when you hold on to vengeance, when you hold on to guilt, when you hold on to this need for revenge, these are all areas where it will create deposits in your body that don't belong there. So the key is to love, to forgive. And the best way to do that is start with yourself.
That's interesting, fascinating. Cynthia is okay. I got this point. But for example, the person who is okay, who forgive, who don't hate anything else, okay, but he is an introvert. His personality is introvert, not extrovert. So what you are telling that he loves, he care about others, everything is okay, but his personality is introvert. Introvert mean he don't want those things naturally by nature that extrovert people do. So he will feel pain about this, but this is his not area. There are 17 18 personality types, so his personality is one. So why he have to focus on other 16 or 17 personalities? That is not his area, but he will feel the pain when he will want to improve other areas, but it's not his relevant field. What do you think about this?
I would say that the very definition of the word personality actually derives from persona. And it was related to the field of acting, where we would put on a mask. And I'm not talking about a COVID mask. I'm talking about a metaphorical mask where we pretend to be one way when in reality we're another way. So a lot of times what will happen is the only time we're completely real is when we're in the bathroom and we have the door closed, nobody's coming in, and we let it all happen. But the minute we see our reflection in the mirror, now the personality takes over. Oh, you're ugly. You're not this. Oh, look at that. Oh, yuck, 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 yuck. And we start with this personality. We start condemning ourselves. We start putting on these layers, things that we've heard from our past, our current, whatever we're taking in, we become. So I would say that the personality is not your true essence. It is, you are your core. So it's about recognizing that we need to bridge the gap between what we are in our private life versus what we are in our public life. And that involves just being real. And if we're having a bad day, just have a bad day. That's okay. Not every day is going to be peaches and sunshine. Sometimes you're going to have really awful times, and that's okay. And I think it's about just allowing that to happen. The issues are in the tissues. That's what they say, you know? It's really about just being real. Introvert often implies that we are lacking that voice. That as much as we create our world and we have an inner world, but our outer world is a reflection of our inner world. So if you're not happy with your outer world, then your inner world is the catalyst, what is causing it. So I would say there's nothing wrong with being an introvert or an extrovert. Everything is a choice. So if you're choosing to be an introvert, then so be it. If you are having a happy existence as an introvert, so be it. But if it is impacting you adversely, then it is time to step into a new reality and start making choices that are more conducive to the results you want. It's all about looking at that grand goal that you have in mind and taking the steps. And so what I found is that when I was an introvert, it was because I lacked confidence. I was afraid to speak my voice. I was afraid of being judged. I was afraid of being mitigated. I was afraid of being silenced. I was afraid I wasn't good enough. All of these different recordings in my mind were preventing me from being able to voice my truth. So if that resonates with you, whoever's watching this right now, then that's something you might want to look at. But if it is in fact something that you've chosen to take on, a lot of the wisest people out there are people of very few words, and they only speak when they feel the need to say something. It is the people that fill all these spaces with words that don't matter, that aren't relevant, that are just like clutter. This is not conducive. So you can be really talkative or you can be very untalkative. It is about finding the right voice for you and being in line with your divine.
So, Cynthia, you told that our real essence is when you are without clothes or something like that.
Mhm.
So, your private life, how can you be a real essence outside? You have to adopt any personality. Otherwise, you cannot live even whatever you are living in bathroom. You cannot go with the same situation outside. So, how you can judge that? And real essence, we cannot. We have to be conscious something when we are going outside something, and when so how can we link our private life with the outer world life, I
Great
mean?
question. I would say that what has worked for me is that I've done a lot of meditation, and I did a 10-day silent meditation, which really allowed me to tap into that essence and really come to terms with what I'm supposed to be doing, my soul purpose, if you will. And as you start, silencing your mind and connecting with the divine, then you start this process of non-attachment. And I'm not talking about checking out of life and being out of your body or whatever. I'm talking about being present, being involved in events, but being in a state of calm where you have resolved, issues that are in the past that were causing you pain points, and have accepted the fact that we are this witness. It's like when you're sleeping and you're aware you're sleeping, but you're not sleeping. There's that awareness piece. That is your true nature. And so, as you are this awareness, even when things happen in your daily life, you are aware of what's happening, but you're not attached. You're not attached to the outcome. You're not attached to your emotion. You're not attached to being this or being that. You are there, you are present, but you are observing it almost like a movie. That is the true balance of being able to escape this ego encrusted identity, personality made, and actually being in line with your divine.
But Cynthia, one thing, for example, you just came across with one person, he deceived you, he cheated with you, for example, and then you become, you were not judgmental before, but after getting this cheated behavior from that person, you become judgmental about that specific person. No one next time when you will meet, even you are not judgmental, but for that person, second time, third time, again they are cheating with you. So uh, how can not be I judgmental with that specific person? Every time I will be cheated, something like that. How can I? Yeah, I mean, not judgmental and just without any judgmental, I will behave like myself. How is it possible?
It would actually be something that would happen internally. So a lot of times when people talk about forgiving someone, you think it's this big elaborate event, they come and they ask for forgiveness, and then you grant them this grand forgiveness, like you are forgiven forever. But in reality, it's something that happens within. And so it's about recognizing that forgiving is one thing, forgetting is another. You can forgive someone, you can absolve them, you can be like, you know what, I am no longer going to carry this pain with me. I release it, I give it back to God, and I walk free. The key is to derive the lesson and receive the blessing. And what I mean by that is a cheater will be a cheater. That is their nature. And it's about recognizing that just because they're cheating is not a reflection on you. That's their character. That's who they've chosen to be. So be it. It's not up to you to change them. It's not up to you to take in all of that pain. It's about recognizing that no matter what happens, you've chosen to be a trust person, someone that instills trust in people, someone that allows people to be exactly as they are. So, in that capacity, I can be a trusting person. I can look at my ex, for example, who might be a cheater, and say, you know what? I trust you to be exactly as you are. And it's not about saying that I trust you to be different just because you're telling me one thing. Their actions have proven that they're one way. I release the pain and I trust that they are going to be as they are. But I am not going to carry that guilt, that weight, that pain forward with me. And I can say to myself, you know what? I've learned the lesson. I'm not going to let them change who I am. I'm not going to let them harden me. I'm just going to pray that they find their way, and I'm going to move forward powerfully.
So, Cynthia, how to? I mean, there are some certain type of people. For example, they are some to avoid from them. This is lesson from different books I got. That just some lazy people, some people without goals. You have to keep away from them, because otherwise you are the average of 5 people where you live, like that. So, but they also need love. Those people also need love. How they can be transformed into a progressive life by giving them the love. So how, if we will avoid them, maybe we will be safe, we will be progressive. But if we in touch with them, maybe we will lack of something, and we will lost something. But how to avoid this and how to tackle this critical situation?
Absolutely. I would say that it really comes down, yes, you are in fact the accumulation of the 5 people you spend the most time with. That we become what we take in. So if you are surrounded by lazy people, chances are you will become lazy yourself, or you will spend countless hours pouring into somebody that may not necessarily be ready for that lesson. And I think it's not necessarily about keeping away from them. It's about, okay, I recognize who they are and I'm choosing to move in a different direction. And you are making that choice. Now, the thing about love is that you can love somebody who's passed away, who's no longer in this life. You can love somebody right here, right now. The whole world happens within you. So you can still love them from a distance. You can still pray for them from a distance. They don't necessarily have to be a part of your active life, but they are somebody that has come into your life for a reason. So it's about recognizing, okay, well, you know what? I know who they are. I know where they're at. I'm going to pray that they find their way, that they can move forward powerfully and purposefully and get to where they want to go. But moving forward, I'm choosing different. I'm going to choose something that is better for my soul, my spirit, and my goal.
Yes, yes, yes. It means still you have to be selective in your life.
Yeah.
Whether you are, yes, yes. Okay, okay, okay. I got. So, Cynthia, you wrote 2 books. Can you summarize your books? What's about that? And I want to listen from you.
Absolutely. Yeah. I didn't know that I was going to be a writer. So I was kind of pulled into it, by some people that again, who you choose to hang around, right? So I was in a personal growth and development sphere. And the people that were there were very much motivated to make something of themselves, to be better versions of themselves, recognizing that we're under construction and they want to go to the next level. They too were concerned about, writing a full book. So one person came up with an idea that we all contribute a word. And so this word book became a bestseller. We had all contributed a different word. And to our surprise and amazement, it actually got picked up and it became an international bestseller. I had chosen the word Canarican because I knew that a lot of Canadians were living in America, and I merged the words and people were like, this should be a word. It should be in the dictionary. And who knows, it's amazing what you can do. Just the power of words, even one word can make a world of difference. The second book was the next step. So, it starts with a word and then you can move forward and, create a passage, create a bibliography, whatever it happens to be. So I ended up doing a biography and we were all contributing authors. So the man that came up with this idea, Robert J. Moore, was the magnetic entrepreneur. He decided that he wanted to have a lot of these movers and shakers, small business owners, entrepreneurs, people that are committed to being the change they want to see in the world, and brought them all together in this compilation to all give their biographies. And he compiled it, he put it forward, And then he had us all come back, reconvene, and sign at the same time these books. Well, what ended up happening is not only did it become an international bestseller, we also earned a Guinness World Record holder for having the most amount of authors at the same time signing. So it was truly amazing. It's incredible what one man's vision can accomplish. One person's vision can accomplish. Myself, I was inspired then to start writing in my own voice, my own words, and have my own book without being a compilation. And that is something I'm working on right now. I signed on with a publisher, and that should be out in the next year. And I'm thrilled because that is all about this platform in terms of stepping into that world of self-love and recognizing that the entire world happens within you. And as you transform yourself, you transform the world.
Great, congratulations, and best of luck for your future endeavors, inshallah. And Cynthia, another question: what's your message to the mother of any culture, to the mother who is as a daughter towards his parents, as a wife towards her husband, as a sister to her sisters and brothers, and as a daughter towards her father? What's your message to them?
Oh, yes, I love this. I would say that it's all about recognizing that you have a divine reason for being here, that there is the creation flowing through you. You bring life to this world, and you are so instrumental in bringing love to this world as well. Like the beautiful balance of man and woman. Recognize that you are the caregiver, you are the provider, and it starts with first nurturing yourself. The beautiful thing about this is that as we start to care for ourselves and be a mother to ourselves, we can in turn be better mothers to humanity. Seeing the love pour out of yourself as you start recognizing your divine creation, that you beat out all these other sperm, that you are here for a reason, that you actually started to crawl before you learned to walk and now run, and now you can give birth and all of these amazing things. It's about celebrating your femininity. You know, it is such a beautiful gift to be feminine. It is such a divine aspect to existence. Without the woman, we would not appreciate the man, and vice versa. Both are necessary. So I would say, start being a mother to yourself. Start loving your sisters, recognizing that they are a reflection of you, and that we can have unity within our female community, that you are divine, you are beautiful, and you are here. God bless you all.
Yes. But Cynthia, another thing, you told that you are the reflection of what others do with you. But there are a real example in our Islam. Maybe you understand not. I will tell you. There was a real Muslim leader in our religion who was assassinated. He was full of patience, and the extreme level of patience he had. And his name was you can search in the history. There was a historical. There is one part of our Muslim Jamaat in Urdu. It means class. One class of Muslim who follow him. His name is Hazrat Imam Hussain. Imam Hussain was the grandson of Hazrat Muhammad. Muhammad is our prophet. Muhammad is our prophet whom we follow. Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam is the last prophet of God, and we follow him. And his daughter was Sayyidah Fatima, his daughter. And his daughter's son was Imam Hussain, whom I want to talk with you. He was full of patience. Highest level of patience was he. He was assassinated. He was assassinated by another Muslim, so-called Muslim ruler at that time. So you told that everyone is the reflection what others do with him. But here the history is totally different. How can you justify this? This is the great leader. How can you justify at that stage that he assassinated, he killed him? We say this is shahada. He murdered him. So why? How we can say that this great leader was punished? We say this is the cruelty what was done on him. So how we can say that this cruelty was the reflection of the person who was murdered?
It's a very good point. And it's a really sad commentary on life that amazing, beautiful souls get taken from us in the physical world, but they cannot be taken from us in the spiritual world, that the entire world lives within us. And sometimes their power is even greater after they've passed to another realm. That sometimes it's just about, no matter how much love you pour into the world, there's still going to be hate. There's still going to be injustice. No matter how much of a justice fighter you are, there's still going to be. And it's about recognizing that truth. We can commit ourselves, but we cannot control the actions of another. What we can do is commit ourselves to the power of love. And my goal is to have the power of love circumvent the love of power. We are not there yet. There are people that are hungry for power. There are people that are afraid of the message. There are people that will try to silence the truth, that will try to suppress the love, the humanity. And they are with us. And we are taught to have compassion. Hurt people hurt people. The people that are in the most pain are the ones inflicting the most pain. In my work with child molesters, with people that were incarcerated, I found that they were the most tortured souls I had ever met. And I love them. But they have to love themselves. That as much as you pour into someone, if they're not receptive, they're not receptive. And it's accepting that truth and not letting that truth stop you.
Cynthia, one thing, another thing, that self-love, in some books I read that self-love sometimes is a trap itself. How can you differentiate that this self-love is the progressive approach, and this self-love maybe that is called just self-praising, that is, just cheating with yourself? This context, in this context, how we can differentiate this self-love will lead us towards progress, and this self-love is not good? Can you differentiate?
Absolutely. I think that it comes down to how you define it. For me, self-love is not about egotism. It's not about being obsessed with, looking the best or purporting to be the best. It's about unconditional love and acceptance. It's about putting yourself first, in the sense of, like when you're in an airplane and you're crashing down, they always tell you, put on your mask before you save anyone else. The same idea goes for living. We should make sure that we are nurturing our bodies, feeding ourselves the right foods. Just like a vehicle, when you pull up and you have a designer car, you're not going to put in just any gas. You're going to want to make sure that you fuel it with the right kind of, gas, so that you get the best performance. Similarly, we have been gifted this body, this miraculous force, and it's truly about ensuring that we feed ourselves the right nutrients. Now, that comes in terms of the actual food we eat. It comes in terms of the information we take in. It comes in terms of what we surround ourselves with, who we surround ourselves with. I mean, you spoke about people that pull you down. I often talk to people about, watch your energy levels. What foods are giving you energy and what foods are depleting your energy? What people are giving you energy? What people are depleting your energy? What entertainment, what novels, what books, all of these things, accumulate to become you. If we were here looking at our phone, we would be like, oh my gosh, you know, I can't believe that this is the most incredible thing. I can put bread in this phone and it becomes the phone. If that were the case, it would be all over the news. But that is us. Whatever we take in, we become. And it's about recognizing the miracle that is, and that all of this comes into this package, that we are able to do such complex, multifaceted, amazing things. And as you start appreciating this gift of life and this body, these eyes, this nose, like all of these amazing things that make you, as you start celebrating your existence, that is the true nature of self-love. Because then you are full of bliss, and that bliss spills over to other people. And everyone who comes in contact with you, they're like, I don't know what's happening right now, but I'm feeling really happy. Everything is energy. So it's about putting the right energy into your life and celebrating your very existence. And if it's not a celebration, if it's about being perfect, if it's about vanity, insanity, or whatever it is, that is an addiction. It is not love.
But Cynthia, one thing more, because I am taking this example from my Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, because one story I will tell, and then I will ask from you how we should behave when this situation. Prophet, when used to go near the house of one woman, and he used to put garbage on him every day. When he used to go that street near her house, he used to, because he was very worst enemy of that my Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, and he used to put garbage on him. But Prophet just used to go from this street one time, two time, three time. It happened, but fourth time there is no garbage on him. So he was wondered that why she didn't put garbage on me today. So he went to her house, and he came to know that she was ill. She was ill. So she was very she had fear that maybe she will take revenge from me. But he told that no, I just came just to take care of you. Something happened with you. You didn't put garbage on me. He cleaned his house. He cleaned his house, and he took care of her. And she was so impressed that she accepted Islam just by his character. So now my question to you is, if someone slap on me, or someone misbehaved me, what should be my reaction? Because this happened, because the complete personalities who are innocent, who are the essence of love, who are full of love, they were ridiculed, they were misbehaved. So when someone misbehaved me, I'm full of love. Okay, I'm full of a sense. I mean, something, I'm following my inner sense, but something happened strangely, suddenly. What should be my response at that situation? What's your response will be? If I, for example, no, I will misbehave you, and I will suddenly I will just do what you are not expecting. You are okay, you are just with love and something, what your behavior will be, and something like that.
People will often forget about what you said, but they'll remember how they feel. So what I mean by that is, there's an example that I recall, and thank you so much for sharing that beautiful story. Like, wow. It is about a woman, Amma, who was at a village, and she was giving a service with compassion, with love. She's known as, this hugging saint, a beautiful, beautiful individual. And a child who came from a neighboring village and begged her to pray for his community. And she asked him, she said, well, why are you asking this? And he says, because there's terrorists there, and I need to make sure that you pray for, peace. And she said, how is this affecting you? And he broke down and said that his father, who was a very peaceful, beautiful soul, was murdered. by these terrorists in cold blood and beaten to death in front of him and his mother. And he, at that moment, wanted revenge. And he was approached by different terrorist groups to join them and avenge his father. His mother begged him not to. And he said, "Mom, how can you say that? How can you let that happen and not me do something?" And she said, "That man that killed you has a father, has a wife, has a mother. Do you want them to grow up without a child as well?" It's about being the change you want to see. No matter how much it hurts, you want to be the change, be the love. That just because they are acting that way does not mean you need to stoop to their level. You can still obtain that higher wisdom that your prophet so beautifully demonstrated. We are love. We are derived from love, and that is our true nature. And when you recognize that hurt people, it allows you to have compassion, to know that somewhere inside of them, even though they seem like a monster, there is beauty, there is a hurt child, and there is someone who needs your love. It is the most powerful force on earth.
Great, great, Cynthia. It's a very wonderful talk, and I also feel in love with you, just listening you, these kind of things. And how much, Cynthia, you meditate daily, and your daily life, just daily routine, so that I can take some examples from you and just apply on me as a habits.
Yeah, I've started. Actually, it's become a part of my daily living. Is just walking meditation, talking meditation. Like I feel like I'm constantly meditating. Every time that I'm alone, I just allow myself to, let go and hand it over to God. Because I recognize we are not here to carry burdens. I used to cultivate the practice. I would wake up at 5 a.m. Between 5 and 6 is where they say is the most powerful time to meditate. And I found that really anchored me throughout the day. So that is something to start off with. But even just taking, a minute out of the day, because sometimes people can feel very daunted by taking on, "Oh, I have to meditate." It's not something that you force yourself to do. It's something that you cultivate. So just practice just focusing on one part. When I was in the 10-day silent meditation, for the first 3 days, all we were supposed to do was focus on one part of our body. And our mind is like a circus. It's like monkeys, jumping up and down. And you're like, okay, how do I focus? But it's just as you start, really focusing your attention and recognizing, yes, the monkeys are going to climb around, but I can bring my attention back. As we start practicing this unconditional love and acceptance for our own minds, it's going to allow for the transmutation to happen. But recognize it is going to take time, and that's okay. And for some people, I found that listening to like the meditation, the guided meditations helps them. What I found really helpful was going into nature and just sitting on a rock and looking at, the water or the trees, and just letting your attention stay there and just take in this miracle that is our life.
Cynthia, you told that there is a walking meditation. There are different types of meditations. Can you please elaborate? These are the types so people can select what their favorite is.
Absolutely. Yeah. There are so many different types. Like the walking meditation, I ended up looking online and I found a group. Well, I know now with the pandemic, it might be more hard. But it was something where we were walking and there was drumming and there was the music, and you're just taking mindful steps. And every step, you're breathing in gratitude, you're breathing out all of your stress. You're breathing in gratitude, you're breathing out all of your stress. And then there was another one where it was a guided meditation, and it was like unconditional compassion meditation, where you're just breathing in love, and then you're thinking of somebody that you love. Whether it's your partner, whether it's your mom, your dad, your sister, whatever it happens to be, you're focusing all your love and you're pushing it to them. And then you go on and you think of your neighbor who maybe you're not as close to, and you're sending them the same love. And then you do it to somebody you've never met. And it's amazing. Like as I was doing that guided meditation, and it was something I searched for on YouTube of all things, I started doing it in my waking state. I found that I was on public transportation and I would see somebody suffering across the, the subway car, and I pushed all of this love to them. And it's amazing. They feel it. I remember she was crying, this woman, and she looked up and she just stared at me because she could feel it. It's amazing how powerful we are. That's a very powerful one. We also have just the silent meditation. Like if you have a silent meditation that you can go to, I highly recommend that. That was a game changer for me. And there's laughing meditation, and that's super fun. I haven't done that one yet, but I hear that's a lot of fun. Like it's just because they say laughter is the best medicine. So as long as you're able to laugh it away, then you start realizing you don't need to be so serious all the time.
So you said that there is a when you do the meditation and others feels actually. So can you relate this love with the aura, body aura? Aura, and we have, every person has an aura.
Yeah.
Aura impacts the others' personalities. Even one thing more, if you have the aura, your aura is positive and positive, full of love. Your aura is. But when any person who has the negative aura comes across with your aura, that negative aura will influence your positive aura, and it will, if your aura is not so strong, maybe you will be dominated by the negative aura as well. So how you will today I will say another new word, that aura of love. Can
Yeah.
I say something?
The aura of love. I love that. That's beautiful. I think that the more you focus your loving energy on your internal, there was actually something called the dream healer. And he talked about how you can meditate and you can actually bring energy into your like diseased organs, and you can actually channel this healing energy to heal yourself. And I would say, if you can do that on that kind of level, why can't you do that to protect your aura? Just asking to be bathing in this divine love that we are, and just asking for that divine wisdom, for the power of God to surround you and embrace you at all moments, because the power of love is the most powerful force on earth and nothing can penetrate it. But you really need to start cultivating it within yourself. There is a Sufi custom where every morning they wake up and they thank God for the top of their head all the way down to the tips of their toes. And they go through every single part of their body. And I'm like, that is so awesome. Like imagine just adopting that into your life. So I would say that at the beginning of day or anytime you're going out into public, just to ask for that protection, to breathe in that love, to really pay attention to every part of your body, and to thank God for being alive and for being a vital, amazing miracle of existence. And I think if you bathe in that practice every day and you become that practice, then nothing can stop you.
Yes, that's wonderful, Cynthia. Love is one emotion. There are six, seven emotions: emotion of sex, emotion of anger. These are the strongest emotions. What Napoleon Hill highlighted in Think and Grow Rich.
Yeah.
The highest emotion is the anger and sex. Love is also part of this. There are other emotions as well. So if we are focusing only the emotion of love, it means we are missing other remaining six. What do you think about this?
It is interesting because I think that as you start loving yourself and recognizing truly what you are, which is this pure awareness, then you realize you're not your emotions. And as these emotions start coming up, you are able to witness them and be like, oh, I have anger emerging. What is this trying to tell me? And anger upside down is depression. So it's about recognizing that there's something that is hurting you. And a lot of times we jump right to anger because we want to get that, that action to step out of that pain. But if we sit with the pain and we can observe the pain and ask and ask for what it is trying to teach us, then we can actually come through it the other side and actually, like photography, develop from the negative. The power of creation, the sexual energy is another one. Because when you recognize that you are not your emotions, that, You can see a beautiful woman or a handsome man and feel so like full of lust for them, but it's all happening inside of you. That is just an energy that is deriving from you, but it doesn't mean that you need to act on it. Everything that comes up in you, you don't have to act on. You can choose to. And as you cultivate this meditation, this ability to become a witness to your emotions no longer control you. You control your emotions.
So it means love is, you say that love is out of emotions. There are many other emotions. If you have the love is the part of emotions. How can we differentiate that we are controlling other emotions, but we cannot control the emotion of love? How can we differentiate something like that?
I would say that as you start recognizing what you truly are, that you are a witness, then you step away from all of that. That love is a stepping stone to that, but it is not the final. That we derive from love because God is love and we are made in his image. But it's not, I don't feel like it's limited to an emotion. It's who we are. Like when you look at the teachings of the Prophet Muhammad, it's all based in love. You don't hear about, the anger, the this, the that, because love transmutes everything. When you are completely in line with your divine, all else is dissipated and you become this love.
Yes, yes. So it means, Cynthia, it means we can consider that the sex, anger, all emotions, and including love, these are the emotions. But love is the father of all these emotions. We can say that this is the dominating also. Uh, and one thing more, uh, 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 it means I observed that those who embraced love and who dominated love, for example, Rumi or something other, their sex energy also transmuted into love, their anger also so they are the picture of love, overall picture. There no sex, no something. So how we can deal with our wives if I will be full of love? So sex energy totally transmuted into that. Maybe if I will love, my love is in this worldly, for example, wife, something other, any lover, my love will be transmuted in that situation. But if I love God, for example, so now my sex energy will be transmuted to that love, my anger will be transmuted to that love. No, every time I'm thinking God, when I'm thinking God is light, and I will feel purified, and I don't feel sex energy. Even maybe I'm depriving my wife. I have wife, I'm 3 kids, so I'm depriving wife with what she needs, because she is not feeling that much love what I feel. She also needs sex, for example. And other. So how can I deal in this situation?
I think it becomes about recognizing that you're so full of love that it spills over, that she's going to feel this love and she's not even going to really know what's come over you. But she's going to be like, I don't know, there's something different about you. And you're going to tap into her needs and you're going to want to pleasure her, not because you need it, but because you love her so much.
Great, great. Yes, yes. Cynthia, thank you very much for your time. Maybe this is interesting topic. Just these questions came to my mind during this conversation, so I asked you. There are many other questions, so maybe in next session. Very interesting. Thank you very much. Love you. Spread love and love everywhere. Inshallah. Thank you.